Want to say hi to the peep?
Say hi to the people. You live. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom, family. Hi, baby. Look at
Say
you.
hi. Say hi.
Pull them babies out. Pull them babies out. Let the people see them babies y'all had natural.
Yeah. This
Shalom,
my
Mark.
natural baby.
Shalom,
Hi, Jen.
Say hi.
what's up, man? Shalom.
Yeah.
Where the baby at?
Shalom, shalom.
I'm getting them now.
Say shalom.
All praises.
Nothing else.
Here's one.
Oh, baby.
Hallelujah.
Oh, praise. Hallelujah.
Oh,
Say hallelujah.
Hey, baby.
Hi, baby. You know her.
Hi, baby.
Yeah, baby.
What are you doing?
She said, what you doing?
What are you doing? Baby.
They look so happy and healthy.
what you
All them,
Come and get them.
no, no,
Don't do
uh-uh.
Nobody said hallelujah.
So, start this thing off. Tell the people, um, each one take turns going into your pregnancy. Into the first one, what was some of your greatest fears about having a natural birth?
Who want to go first?
You?
You said your first natural birth?
Yeah.
Uh, I'll go.
Okay.
So my first natural birth was last year, in February, and I still had her in the hospital, but I had no medication whatsoever. It was my second delivery, but my first natural birth. My first was he's 12. And so I had an epidural and everything, but with her, that I really had a moment where I was like, this is the craziest thing that I've ever done. Like there was no turning back though. I went 4 centimeters to 10 centimeters in about 7 minutes. And that was my first experience with a natural birth. He was a little different. I was in labor with him, natural all day. All day. But I had a water birth still in the hospital, and he was much bigger. So the pain level was a little different. But all was well. They were both healthy. Um, and then, so with Yana's natural birth, they kept us a little longer because she has a heart condition where her heart is on the opposite side of her body. So they, like our whole pregnancy, they were trying to scare us, trying to tell us that she was going to need surgery right after she got here, which she didn't need any of that. She's completely fine. I mean, they ran test among tests. They tried to get us to do genetic tests. I mean, they really was trying to get us for our insurance.
That's what I was going to say. They were trying to run up that insurance bill.
Yeah. But she's completely fine. We denied and declined each test. And Yabri hasn't, they already knew that, because I went to the same doctor, but they already knew that coming through the door, we were about to decline and refuse every vaccine, everything. So, but I'm glad I went natural though, because the bounce back time versus the epidural, like I still had issues 5 years after having an epidural.
Wow.
But natural birth, like a week later after having her, I was back on stage, like rapping and everything. So
Hallelujah.
All praises. Hallelujah.
Um, I would say for me, the scariest thing, because this is my first child, and the scariest thing for me was well, first before I even found out I was pregnant, like I was born anemic, with like a really low blood count and stuff like that, and so I was always getting blood transfusions before I came into the truth and everything like that to bring my blood count up. And um, you know, they always was telling me like, whenever you get pregnant, like it's going to be detrimental because you're going to be sharing your blood with the baby, and you're always going to be running low and things like that. So it always like was in the back of my mind as something that kind of like made me scared to have kids or to get pregnant. But coming into the truth and me stop getting blood transfusions and changing my diet and going to natural healing and things like that. When I found out that I was pregnant, I've struggled with my blood still because of course the baby was taking half of everything, and I had gotten into the hospital back in March when I had found out how exactly far along I was. And they was trying to tell me like, your blood count is the lowest it's ever been. It's dangerously low. If you go into labor, there's a chance you could die and this and that. And I just felt like they were trying to scare me. Me, I've been low all my life. And 5 is the lowest I've been before. And so I just felt like they were trying to scare me into getting blood transfusions and setting up different plans for when I was to deliver the baby. And I basically just, kept my faith in the Most High, and I told him, whatever the Most High has for me, that's what it will be. If I'm meant to deliver the baby, naturally or whatever circumstances, that's what I'm gonna do. As far as it being my choice, I'm not going to take y'all blood. I don't believe in that anymore. There are pills they was trying to give me, and so that's the scariest thing for me, other than giving birth. Because that's a painful thing. But now that I'm here and I'm thankful that the Most High kept me, and I think it was because of my faith in the Most High and me just sticking to the plans that I had as far as being obedient to Him, that He honored. And I'm well. My blood count is the highest it's ever been without me taking blood, and I'm just thankful that He's healthy, nothing's wrong with him, and everything like that. So that was just the scariest part, is dealing with my blood and making sure that I delivered a healthy child.
All praises.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
So,
I heard you crying. I heard you crying while you was in labor.
I was not crying. Oh wait, I was crying when the contractions was like the
I
last.
heard you crying.
Contractions ain't no joke.
That was Brandy crying. That was not me.
Oh my
Listen,
God! Listen to her, help her.
I was not. I was worried about pushing this baby out to be crying. I was not crying. I was crying and stuff because man, this baby had a big old head, But I wasn't crying, girl. I wasn't like crying to cry.
Well, all praises. I'm so happy. I was so excited for you. And he called me like, I'm like, tell her to breathe like this. Did he tell you? I told him to tell you.
She said,
He was like,
she said, I want drugs. But she trying to throw me under the
oh
bus.
God.
And I told her, no.
I know that for one, the midwife don't carry drugs, and for two, I was just trying to. Man, that's how much pain I was.
No.
And I'm like, I'm saying anything like drugs, like this is.
She said it because I was already planning on the second baby. I'm trying to lighten the mood. I'm like, on your next one, it ain't gonna be nothing. She's like, no, it ain't gonna be no next one.
Y'all never know what to do. Y'all never know what to do.
He was so annoying. He was so annoying, y'all. Like I understand.
I was a doula. I turned into a doula.
No, you would have been what you was. I understand you was trying to like push me and coach me, and you were great at that. but I wasn't trying to hear none of that you were saying. Like I wanted you to listen to me, and you wasn't having it. And
You don't know nothing. No.
what? He want me to walk.
Her
He
body.
want me to walk around. He want me to walk around and do all
That
these
does
things.
help though.
I mean, yeah, but still, when you going through that pain, you like sit down for a second. Like just let me sit down. I need a little bit of ease right now. But it all worked out, and I'm super thankful for his coaching because I know the midwife was like, "Can we just push this along?" Because I'm telling you, I had predominant labor for like 4 days. Like it was like I was having contractions before I even went into labor for days. It was like that Sunday after Shabbat is when I was like, man, I can't take this no more, and it just kept getting worse. But them last 4 hours was like the most treacherous. Mm-mm. Mm. He planning for next ones. I'm all like, man, you gotta give me a couple years.
Well, the good thing is
At
your
least
next one should
30
come quick.
days.
Yeah, that's what the wife said, and I know it'll be different, and I can prepare myself for what will come.
Yeah,
This time
better.
I went blindly.
Well, mine, I wasn't really afraid of the natural birth. I planned for it. Right as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I was in the truth already. I had been in the truth for like 2 years. So I was like, this is it. It ain't no hospital. It ain't no option. It's natural birth. I'm ready for it. I could do it. And I really wasn't afraid. And then what really helped was the birthing classes. I had her at a birthing center. So it was all natural. They had the tubs and all the little different things you can use for different positions to have the baby in and all that. So it was like an upscale hotel with the big old jacuzzi tub in there where you can have the baby. So I went through their whole program. Huh?
Was you in KC? You had her at the KC birthing center?
Yeah, the one, it was in Kansas. Yeah. It
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
too far away.
that's the one I wanted to go to.
Yeah, the new birth. Yeah. I
Yeah.
recommend them. You had your baby there too. I think you're the one who told me about it. I think I got it from you. So we went there and I went through the whole program, did the birthing classes, did all the little class. So I was fully prepared with my first natural birth. My oldest daughter is 14. Wait, well, she just turned 15, and I had her in the hospital. I had the epidural and all that. And I was just talking about it earlier, how different it was because I don't remember having my first baby. Like I was so high. I don't remember having her. Okay, all I remember was my midwife was singing "Push It" by Salt and Pepper. Okay, I was pushing her out, and then she came out. But I was in labor with her for like 26 hours, and they was trying to make me have an emergency C-section because they was trying to say that I was stuck at 4. And I remember saying a prayer and asking the Most High. This before I was even in the truth, asking the Most High to not make me have to have a C-section. And when I woke up, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, I was ready. So I'll praise for that. But this one here, I was in labor for like 6 hours. And once I got to 7, it was like boom, boom, boom. She was out. I was in the water. I barely made it in the water. I think I sat in the water for like 20 minutes, and she came out. And the water really helped me. It really helped with those contractions. I was in the. I labored at home in the bathtub. It helped me because I was about to die when I was out the tub. If it wasn't for Sounds of Sinai, listening to that CD, I think I would have made the whole neighborhood wake up. I know my neighbor, he woke up. He was like, I knew you was having that baby. I heard you. And then her Abba was blowing the trumpet. So the whole damn neighborhood knew she was coming. So it was like, that was the best experience that I have had in my life. Like, out of any experience that I have had, any kind of experience, natural birth, natural labor, birth was the best one that I ever had because I remembered everything. You know, I could tell the Most High was there. He was present. Like it was good. So But I did rip though. That was the worst part. I ripped, so I had to get
Ooh.
sewed up.
Did you
Yeah,
was it like did you like feel it when it happened, or like did you like was it like I don't know, cause that it's like when you pushing, can you like do you feel
I didn't
yourself?
feel it.
You didn't feel it, but you just knew
I
after the
didn't
fact.
feel it. I didn't feel it at all. I didn't feel anything. She told me. So, but she was when I had Naraya, she was 6 pounds, 7 ounces. This one right here was almost 9.
Ooh,
So, and then I think the only reason why I ripped is because they tell you to let your body push. You don't push. You let your body naturally push. I pushed, and she was like, "Stop pushing." I was like, "I can't," and I think that's how I ripped. So I had to get sewn up, but I healed up very quickly. I lost my little baby pouch in a week. Breastfeeding came without it was perfect. It was perfect. Get off
that's
me.
really so
Huh?
awesome. I said that's so awesome.
Yeah, it is. So if I ever have anything anymore, it'll be the same way. I could probably do it at home. I was gonna do it at home, but I got to thinking like, who gonna clean up the mess? So that's why I was like, nah, we just gonna go to the center because I don't know what kind of mess we gonna have. I don't know nothing about that. So we just went to the center.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, I just thought about the fact I didn't blow the shofar. I'm
When she
kind of
had the
salty
baby.
now. Thanks for
Yeah.
making me salty about the fact
I'm
I didn't blow
sorry.
the shofar. I ain't even think
Yeah.
about it.
Where
I ain't
is
even think about
Hours.
it till now.
where is the
Like
show?
chest go hurt. Like he
Th-
was blowing that thing like ooh.
It's in the room.
Um,
It's in the room. No, no, no. It's in the trunk of the car. I got it now.
that's why you ain't blood.
Jasmine, your turn.
But yeah, now I have
Hey, but hey, y'all. Real quick. If y'all could work your microphones when you need to, like if it's like something happening in the background or whatever, hit the mute. You know, or for those who talking. But yeah, go ahead, Jasmine. You got it.
I'm sorry, I was waiting for my friend to get out the room. But y'all, well, mostly I know I have 4 children, so two of them I had outside of the truth. I have a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old. My 12-year-old, I did get an epidural, and I didn't feel a thing, like not even my legs. So I definitely don't recommend that for the in the truth or out the truth. Is just not a good experience. It's just like you. I think I don't know. To me personally, I feel like that's why people have so many kids now because they just like, oh, just pop them out. We don't feel nothing, you know. When you go natural birth, I feel like you respect it more. You know what I'm saying? You see how you are now, sis. You like, and I ain't gonna just pop out and have more children, you know,
Right,
week or
right.
nothing, you know. So, and that's how I felt. Like, oh no, I do not want to do this again. Then I get pregnant with Zahia again, but with Zoe,
Brandy, you ready for all this TMI? It's about to be a lot of TMI going on here. You ready for this?
you're right. You got more. But my
Listen, me and my baby, we like best friends. We be talking about everything. Sometimes I do be like, "Come on, man,
That's what
you
I'm
just laying it
saying.
on a little bit
It
too
might
thick
be
for
some
me,
of that
man.
going
Slow
on with
down."
us. Like,
It's all right.
okay.
Listen, it's for the edification. It's for the edification of the nation, man. Go ahead,
but
spill it.
when my
No
daughter,
pun intended.
I wasn't in the truth, but it was a natural birth, like kind of on accident because I didn't want them to send me back to the hospital and have me wait. I mean, send me back home and have me wait to have the baby. So I was just like, I'm waiting until I can't stand it no more. But by the time I got there, because I was waiting on someone that decided to go do something else, so I was literally in labor by myself. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I do? I'm on the wall, like literally just falling to the floor, like, where? I need help. I'm calling people and I'm like, y'all, what should I do? And they're like, yeah, ain't no car around. I'm like, no. Like I'm waiting for my ride, but I didn't want to rush it because I knew that they were going to send me home. You know, they teach you how to, check to see how far along you are. So if you put your fingers in there, as many fingers you put in there is how far you dilated. So, with doing that, I was just like, nah, it ain't time. It ain't time. So by the time I took the trip from North Kansas City all the way out to South Kansas City, I was ready for the baby. So I went into the room or whatever, and I was waiting for them to bring my epidural up, and it was coming with the doctor, and it was taking forever. So I knew it was time to push, and I kept telling the nurse, like, hey, this baby's coming. She started closing my legs, was like, no, wait for the doctor. And I was like, I can't wait for the doctor. She turned around to go get the doctor. By the time she turned back around to come back into me, I was already pushing. My daughter was coming out. I was like, somebody better grab this baby. Like, she better not hit the floor. The doctor came in like, I didn't know you was going that fast. I was like, I just didn't want to waste no time. I just wanted to get this over with. Like, let's do this. So with her, I felt like that natural birth, I didn't feel like I knew what was going on. Like, it was different for me, but I didn't really know the difference between a natural birth and a epidural. I didn't know the difference because I was in the world. I'm just like, oh, well, I just had my baby. Hey. And then when everybody told me about natural birthing, I was like, oh my goodness, I had my baby natural. So I kind of felt proud about it afterwards. And then I had Tazayuan, which is my 3-year-old right now, and then Zahaya, which is my 2-year-old. Tazayuan, we did natural birthing company. The new birthing company it's really peaceful. I liked it, except for the fact that they kept stressing me about the insurance issue and the pricing for the appointments and stuff. But I liked it, the company. The rooms are real peaceful. They let you bring in your own music if you wanted stones or if you want to do prayer. I listen to prayer the best for me for my experience with Taiwan. My sister was in a room. My sister-in-law and my husband was in a room, and his mom is a doula, so she kind of helped me through that, and she was amazing because I was so scared that, for real, I was just scared that I was gonna stop pushing, like I was just gonna give up, and just stuck in me, like, just don't even, what am I? Because you think about all the pain and everything before it even happened. So I'm thinking about this constantly before I even went into labor. So when I went into labor, I was like, Sister Tiffany, hey, it's about to happen. It's going down. Like, it ain't nothing I could do. I came back up now. I just need to breathe. So I just kept thinking of that and trying to calm my mind. And a lot of sisters that's in the truth was really helping me get to that point. Like, hey, just think of good thoughts. My husband reading scriptures in the background. We got prayer genius playing, candles lit. The grandmother bought some stones and like those little crystal rocks. That's what she believed in. So she kind of brought those, and she believed they were more common or whatever. But it was a really nice experience to Zion. I tried the water bug, but I couldn't stay in the water long, so I had to get out of the water and I feel that's when the contractions really start hurting, and I was just, I can't take it. So be it that Ephraim was right above me when I was about to push, so I kind of like just grabbed his face. So he had scratches all over, and I was just, I feel so bad. I'm sorry, but I kid y'all not. The first, when it's coming out, it hurts, and then when you push, it's like a big relief because it's just like, okay, it's out. Like you like, baby, just flip right on out of there. I was like, okay, cool. After that, it's all over with. So then when I thought about it, kind of just.
That's when I started crying.
When a short period of time where it really hurts when it's coming out, but really it's the contractions that's really killing us. Our backs, our stomachs, and we just like don't want to be bothered. Hush, it's just how I feel. My husband smart enough. He didn't say anything, so I was cool with it. It's like put a towel on my head and don't say nothing. And it was a good experience. And it was how I did do in the hospital, but it was still natural. I feel like the bed was very uncomfortable, so I didn't really want to do the hospital treatment, but it was cheaper, so I did it, whatever. And it was. I felt like it was the longest one. She was the one I was about to give up on. I was just, I can't do this no more. I can't push no more. And she was like, you got to keep pushing. Like, so I started getting a little cranky with the midwife. So it was not a good idea to do that because, they could be walking away and be like, I'm done with you. But she was just like, no, babe, just keep pushing, breathe. I'm like, I'm so tired. I don't want to do this no more. I'm done. She was like,
that's why I was tired too.
Yeah. I was like, just pull her.
We only tired on screaming. That's what make us tired on that screaming.
Man, and my screaming was super loud. I even though this is my fourth child, I definitely don't want to be pregnant again. I don't want to do another natural birth. And it's still an amazing thing having those beautiful babies in your hand, and it always give me baby fever. I always want another child just to have that stage. But I forget, don't forget that they have to grow up. So you got a long life lesson to go through with these children. So when you get baby fever, don't want to just lay down and have another child like I did, because I had back to back. Now I feel like I got twins. So that's my advice to y'all. But it was a beautiful experience. A natural birth over going to the hospital and doing the epidural or the what is the shot, any of that, I wouldn't recommend it. Are you strong enough to go to labor until you get that shot or that epidural? You're strong enough to have a natural birth. We can all do it.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
All praises. All right, hey, speak to the impact of music and like scripture, reading scripture during your contractions and the birth.
Mhm.
What kind
What
of
about?
effect it had on you, or what kind of stood out to you about the whole
This
thing? If you
with
had it,
me,
if you didn't have it, don't worry
with
about
me,
it.
the scriptures help me keep my mind on the Most High. It kept my mind off of the pain. And then while he was reading scriptures, he was like, "Remember why he said that?" He would like Q&A me trivia. Like, why did the Most High tell us to do this? What was this? And I'm like, I don't know. He like, answer question. So it helped to take my mind somewhere else instead of focusing on all this pain that I was in. So my sisters was in the room during the scripture reading, the music. But I come from a line of comedians somehow, so they was in my room cracking jokes, and I was so worried about using the bathroom in the water. So my mind stayed focused. Yeah. My mind was completely focused, but the scriptures really did, like, especially during after I lost my plug and the scriptures and the contractions really got bad. The scriptures really, really helped. The music, I was like, I can hit them high notes right now. Like the way I'm feeling, how I was screaming, I can hit them high notes. So I was practicing, I became a little singer during the contraction time, but it really does help. And then it also helps you be glad and enjoy that this is happening for you, and remember that the children are a gift from the Most High, and you about to bring forth your gift. And I had her on the Day of Atonement, so that day was so crazy, and it was very, very special to me. So of course, we still was trying to do the Day of Atonement while I was in labor and having her. So we was reading scriptures about that and trying to do all that. I fasted for the whole 24 hours. My midwives was tripping. Girl, you the boys. The midwives was tripping because I fasted. I wouldn't eat nothing or drink nothing right after I had her. And I was like, oh my God. They was crying and everything. Like, they swore my husband at the time was trying to force me to do this. Like, he was making me starve myself. I was like, I'm fine. But I really was. Like, I was just so at peace. And I was just so happy with seeing my baby and having her naturally. I was proud of myself because I did it. I didn't have an appetite. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't thirsty, and I was fine. Like, I felt really good. So having the scripture there, we burnt the frankincense and myrrh rocks. We had the little stuff burning, music playing, scripture. Like, it was perfect. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better time, for real.
Um, I was more so I had like meditation playing and stuff like that. And I ain't gonna lie, it was working at first, I could focus on what was being said and everything like that. And when it came time for him, like when he like switched to the scriptures and stuff like that, and the pain really started kicking in, I was too much in my head to pay attention to what was being said. And then him on top of that, it just seemed like everything was just annoying me so much. So I couldn't pay attention when the pain really kicked in. But um, I'm just thankful that he took over for me and made me do the things that I did as far as being positive and trying to talk to me about, the most high ordained this. This is basically what I gotta go through. And I'm just like, all right, I would it was basically like it was definitely something that it's helpful to have scripture to meditate, to think on the most high. Granted, he said childbearing was going to be painful for us, but at the same time, being thankful for what it brings forth is, like you said, it being a gift. It's just that's what I was really focusing on and pondering on and trying to get through, basically. So that's what got me through, was basically remembering that this is what I got to go through to get the gift that the Most High has given me. So that's what it was for me.
Hallelujah. Well, doing her labor and delivery, I did both. We had the Prince Dawid meditations going on. Was just listening to it, setting the atmosphere. Wanted to make sure that the baby came into the presence of Elohim. And then sporadically, as the Spirit would move me, I would just read the Psalms, out loud, just because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. So we was at a hospital. A lot of y'all had the privilege and luxury of being at home, but we was at a hospital, and I know it'd be witches in the hospital. So I wasn't playing no games with them. So I just kept, the music going, kept the word going from time to time, and just everything came out the way I expected it to. So that's my
Hallelujah.
testimony. Word, presence, everything will be all right.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yes. And I know them doctors was probably in there like, man, what kind of people we got in there? Because that's
Hey, look, hey, look,
what
hey,
I
look.
was feeling like.
I heard my wife's alarm had went off, right? And
Uh-huh.
this was her alarm. What alarm was that?
It just said pray. I pray.
Oh, so it was her prayer alarm. So the
Hmm.
nurse was like, oh yeah, are you guys about to pray? And I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So she was like, okay, so she sat there and bowed her head. All she said, boy, I begin to speak the word over that lady, boy.
Oh,
Speak the word of
hallelujah.
life over that
Hallelujah.
hospital.
Yeah, see. And that's how, like, see, my midwife that I had, when I first met her, because I met her late because, I wasn't even gonna have a midwife, but I was just so content on not going to the hospital and having them do whatever they want to me or my baby. So, I found her late, but she was so understanding of, what we believe in, and she was comfortable with my routine and my herb. Like she was so down for, and she's real knowledgeable about the hospital. Like she was really for everything that we was for, you know what I'm saying? And she was understanding. So when she came and she heard her scriptures and stuff like that, like it didn't offend her or anything like that. Like it was like she was like, okay, like this is what they do, and she understood. And so I was just thankful that we had somebody who doesn't,
Hey,
uh,
real quick, babe.
what
It offended them, cause listen, they started trying to suggest putting on something else.
when
That's how I knew it offended them. We was, babe, you was out of it. You was in
Look
pain.
at her.
They started to say,
She's
well,
like,
well, how about putting on how how about putting on something she likes? How about putting on something she likes? I'm like, this is her stuff. Like I don't listen to Watchmen. This is this is her stuff. This is what she used when she's in, you know, having a headache or having a bad day. This is what she puts
I
on.
don't remember
And then, they just like well, babe, they asked me that about 3 or 4 times to put on something you like. For real. For real. I was like,
No,
I was,
I do.
I
I
just
do
act like
asking you to
I
turn
ain't
it
hear
down
him.
because you definitely had it blasting in the room, and I was like, "This is kind of loud in the room," and I was like,
Yeah, we had that surround sound. We had surround sound.
That's
We
right.
had the candles going. She was in the little pool. We had it lit up in there, neon green. It was nice.
and I was even like turn it down a little bit. And I don't remember them asking us to change.
I had mine black. I needed mine to match my tone. I needed my music to be louder than me. Though my music was blasting,
Oh
and
yeah,
my
I had it
midwife.
all at that time.
I had a midwife and a nurse. I had two midwives and a nurse. And when we left, they thanked us. They was like, I'm so happy y'all let us be a part of y'all's birthing experience. They was like, this is something that I've never experienced any time before because of the things that we do as Hebrew Israelites. You know, this is like normal for us. This is calming and we don't want to hear all that what y'all talking about. You know, we just let the process be natural. And they were just like, all your oils and stuff, it smells so good. And you guys just were so, you know, it wasn't a lot of screaming. I did a lot of screaming, but I tried to do more breathing than screaming. So they was just like they was so proud of me and how we handled everything and like they really thanked us for the experience. And I'm like, thank the Most High because this is what He gave us to do. So, and then I was out of there. I had her at 9 o'clock in the night, and we were out of there by midnight. We was back home by midnight. We didn't even stay. They sewed me up. They was like, "Can you walk?" I'm like, "Yeah." I got on a diaper. I don't feel nothing. Like I can walk. So we went home and we finished the day. It was home. They tried to keep me in the hospital for 2 days just because they were like, "Oh, we want to let the epidural wear off." And I'm like, I can feel the epidural wore off in the middle of me having her. So they tapping my thighs like, can you feel this? I'm like, yeah. So, but I was still high off the drugs they put in my IV. So I really didn't feel anything. I just could feel my legs. So, and I felt that what they call it, the ring of fire when the shoulders come out and then you get that burning sensation. I felt that. So, but with this one, everything. I was in so much pain. I think I threw up like 4 times because it hurt so bad. Yeah, I was I was vomiting. I'm like, am I supposed to do this? Like, what's going on? Like, you good? You good?
I
Okay.
definitely threw up too, and that's so
You
crazy
did?
because yeah, because it's like even when I get cramps, like when I'm on my cycle and stuff like
Yep.
that, like really bad, I'll throw up too. And
Yep.
it's
Because it hurts so bad. Yeah.
but it's not even like it's like it only hurts because I felt it in my back. Like I don't know what it is about that back pain,
Yep.
but it's like
That's the
man,
worst.
like me out right now.
Yep.
Like,
That's the worst.
real.
I had
It's
back labor too.
man, I'm like, oh no, this could not be what it's about. Like who acts like this? Then I
But
was
that medicine ball really helped. That medicine ball didn't help you?
no girl.
Yeah.
That
And look,
medicine ball helped me.
I
Yeah.
I
don't know.
laid on it backwards. I laid down on it backwards and I was rocking on it. That's the way it helped
I
me.
told her to do that. She wouldn't
Man,
listen to
Yeah.
me.
but see,
Right.
I think it is. I think what it was for me was because I was having contractions for days before
You
active
was just
labor.
tired.
My
Yeah.
body was tired, and I'm tired, and I'm all like, man, this pain is like unbearable. Now, if I would have started regularly and hadn't had them many days, I felt like I would have been able to handle it better and do what was needed to be
You
done.
did what you had to do. You handled it great. You did
Man,
that.
She was
Can't
overreacting.
nobody
She's an
say nothing about how we
overreactor.
handle natural childbirth. Nobody
it's
can say nothing how we handle natural childbirth, okay?
it's so easy.
So
It's so easy for him to say I'm overreacting when he ain't the one pushing out a
No,
baby.
no. Tell him.
he
I
need to put
told
his
you
mic on.
exactly what you was gonna say. Look, I told her exactly what she was gonna say to them people. I told her she was gonna tap out, and she she tapped out.
You would have stepped out
I
too.
can't, I can't, I can't, I can't do it. I can't.
Oh yeah, they
She
was
did it.
he was swole. I was saying that. I'm
Your
all like,
body make you do it though.
let me just talk. Like, let me just say what I gotta say. Like, I know I could.
No,
Let me say it. Like, cause it makes
no.
feel better. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
funny.
it's like I ain't got no choice though. I ain't got no choice. So if I'm saying it, I mean, of course I ain't got a choice. I'm already here at this point. The baby's coming down, and then that was the craziest when I like felt inside and I felt his head. I'm all like,
Mhm.
but it was like the last 4 hours was the worst because I was sitting in a chair because like the water had stopped working and these contractions is coming like so crazy. I'm feeling it in my back. He's making me walk. And so like when I'm sitting in the chair and I'm trying to use the heating pad and the heating pad ain't working. But it's like I got this feeling to push and it's like it's not stopping. And I'm all
Like he
like,
had a boo boo.
yeah, yeah, I'm all like, why do I feel like this? I'm all like, I can't control this. So, they was like, come on, let's go take one more walk. And then it was like, before we even got to that last walk, she was like, let me just check and see where you're at. And, she checked or whatever. And she was like, well, you can start pushing right now. And I'm like, man, are you serious? Like, I've been waiting for you to say these words to me. Like, let's go. Let me start pushing.
Do
And,
They
you
never
think?
once told me to push.
huh?
They
So
never
that,
once told me to push. They was like,
Enough.
let your body do.
man, because I was trying to push before it was time, girl, but I was pushing in the chair. So I guess when I was sitting down, I was pushing and he was coming down. So when I couldn't sit down right anymore, I'm all like, something ain't right. And so that's when she texted me.
Coming
Y'all,
out.
y'all can't see what I'm doing, right?
My baby was about to come out in the bag, yo, and everybody was like, "Ooh, I want to see, I want to see," because my
Like,
water, yeah, like the amniotic fluid bag that the baby's in,
Oh
because my
wow.
water didn't break. My water was not trying to break, and I was like, "Well, y'all not gonna break my water because that's what I know they do in the hospital." So I'm like, "Well, what if my water don't break?" And they're like, "Oh, she'll just come out in the bag," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like, how does that work? You know what I'm saying? But they was like, it's cool because she's gonna come out in water. So if she comes out in the bag, we'll just pop the bag when she comes out. So everybody was looking all in the pool like, oh, I want to see, I want to see. But right as soon as her head came, the bag popped in my water.
and see, when I was getting up off the chair, that's when my water broke. I'm all like, something's wrong. Because I was asking the same thing, like, my water's been breaking. How do I know if I'm going to get a baby? And it was like, it'll pop one time.
Yeah, I wanted to see the baby in the bag too, because that would have been
Hey,
pretty cool.
I got a question for Nava. Say your name again,
Goodbye.
sis. Naval.
Goodbye.
Okay, I need
Yeah.
to hear that a couple times. I need to say it a couple times. Naval and Jasmine first. What are some points you would tell a pregnant mother that's in the world? What would you tell her about having a natural birth? You two who have um um the most kids on the panel as far as um natural birth. What would you tell them for encouragement?
Um, Natural birth in the world. I have a. I'm a property manager, and of course, like I worked up until I had the baby. So a lot of my residents, a few of them are pregnant as well, and they wanted to do the whole epidural and everything. So when I was talking to them about different options, um, one girl actually she changed her position on natural childbirth and breastfeeding because I just wanted to tell her it was healthier for our body and the baby. So just trying to talk to her about the truth, but she's not there yet. but
Right.
just to keep it natural is and no medicine is what's best for your body. Like when I had my son, like I said earlier, 12 years ago, the epidural, I had back spasms up to 5 years after I had it. And
Wow.
then with my last two, I haven't had any issues. I had him a few days ago, and I'm I'm ready to go back to work. I'm not going back to work, but you know, I could. There's drinking there, but I could definitely go back. It's the the recover time is so much shorter.
Um, Me personally, I feel like even though I had more children with natural, I am nothing like you two women right here because y'all had complications and y'all made it work, you know. So y'all are absolutely amazing for making it through that and still choosing to go through with that decision. I have to tell y'all that because I don't think a lot of people would have done it. You know, we get scared and we will back out of things because that just show y'all faith. Y'all are amazing for that. Now, I think if anything, if you're not in the truth or in the truth, and you thinking about having natural birth, look at these sisters because they chose to do this with complications. This most scariest thing, and they did it. What else can we say? That's it for me. All I had to see was your testimony. I'll be like, oh, I can do this. I got this. But more than anything, first thing I ever did when I first found out I was pregnant was pray, 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 pray. Your fear, whatever you're going through, pray because the Most High is going to make sure you make it through whatever it is you're going through. With that prayer, he took all them thoughts, everything that I was feeling away, and I had healthy babies. They're still healthy. You know what I'm saying? They're still not getting no vaccinations, and we're doing everything naturally. And they are about as big as any baby that came out of a hospital with the vaccinations and everything. Our babies don't get sick. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about colds and flus. None of that. My children are around regular children, and they don't catch those things. I don't, so
Right.
I don't know how, but I praise the Most High what happens. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to stay natural, and I pray that if anybody's thinking about doing it, try it. It doesn't hurt.
Right.
Hallelujah. And
Yeah.
it's so crazy that you said that because, with me having the complications that I did, and at the time when I was in the hospital, I was back at home in Pittsburgh, and my family they not in the city and stuff like that, and so they're always worried about my blood count because, like I said, hospital before my blood getting transfusion. Like they used to keep me days overnight about my blood. That's how low it was. And my family, they be like, they're not in the faith, so they'll be like, you need to do this, and it's not about you no more, and you got a baby to think about, and I think you need to get the transfusion and get this and that. And I can't lie, like before I really was like, I'm gonna just rely on the Most High. Like I was contemplating in my head a lot, and that to me was like, it was worrisome to me because I'm all like, Dad, like I'm in the faith, like, why am I even thinking like this? I had my family in my ear talking to me like as if because they have a concept of the Most High, but they don't read scriptures. They don't practice how we practice. Like they're Christians or whatever, but I'm all like, dang, like I know it's because I'm listening to them, and I'm like, it's sounding good because I love my baby already. Like I want to make sure that I'm not putting it in any jeopardy or anything like that. And so, like while I was in a hospital, I'm all like, man, you know what? Like I'm gonna just rely on the Most High, and whatever happens, happens. Like if it's meant for me to bring my baby through this matrix, like that's what it's gonna be. If it's at this point in my life or whatever, like that's just what I'm gonna have to accept. Like at the end of the day, I know that this is what the Most High plan, and there's nothing that I could do or can't do to stop His plan. So it's like I might as well just carry it all out, like you know what I'm saying. And it was at that point where I'm on like, forget it. And I believe at that point, because at that point I didn't even have a midwife, and I believe that's why I even found my midwife to who was acceptable of everything that I was going through. Because like I was telling y'all, like I was trying to have it at the KC birthing center, but they was telling me like my blood count is too low, and it took like I was doing everything to get it up, and it was like, man, it's just still too low, like we can't accept you, you're a risk. And I'm all like, all right, well, if y'all can't take me, I'm gonna just have my baby at home. Like I'm not going to no hospital. And it was like that same week they told me no is when I found my midwife, and everything has been so great since then. And I just thank the Most High because I just know it was me standing on and relying on my faith in the Most High, regardless of all my complications and everything like that, that even the most high baroque me how he did, so um I just wanted to, ooh, piggy, I just wanted to throw that on there, because it is a lot to go through when you have complications and you worry about certain things that may happen or that can happen. And when you don't have that type of faith, it's easy to get discouraged and take the easy way, out and listen to these doctors and let them do things to you that our body just, like, we're naturally, we made to go through these things, you know what I'm saying? And so my advice, even though I only have one child, is to just let your, like, we're meant to go through this. So the best thing for your baby is to have it the way we are naturally intended to be. No medicines, no things that'll jeopardize the baby's system or anything like that that'll jeopardize you at the end of the day. And stand firm on your word or your beliefs or whatever it is that you feel is right for you, because at the end of the day, these doctors, they don't get paid to tell us the truth about what's in these medicines that they give us. They get paid to simply create patients and things like that. So I would say stand on all natural birth and all natural holistic anything, for real. So
So if we still addressing sisters that's not in the truth, that may be in the world or not. Okay. So
yeah.
my suggestion to the sisters out there, or the sisters that's even in the truth that may be afraid, educate yourself on hospital births and natural births. Because the one thing that got me, Ricky Lake, y'all know who Ricky Lake is?
Hmm.
Talk show host.
Yeah.
She did a documentary about, I think it's called The Baby Birthing Business, and how it's a business to birth children in hospitals. That they're not looking at it as a woman's experience of bringing a child into the world. They're looking at it as money. So when it's upwards to $150,000 to have a baby, and if you're having a C-section, it's gonna run you about 200K. When you can have your baby perfectly safely normal at home for free, or a little bit of nothing, paying a midwife, or if you have insurance, like I have insurance through my job. So having the baby at the birthing center, I think I got a bill for $24, and that's because I had a tea bath. I had to pay for the tea bath with the baby, but my insurance paid for everything. I'll praise the Most High. But for the sisters that maybe have, the Medicare or the Medicaid or whatever, they're not gonna pay for you to tell the doctors what you want. They're gonna pay for the doctors to tell you what you're gonna do. And 9 times out of 10, it's wrong. It's not right. They need to hurry up and get you in and get you out so they can get that bed to the next person. They charging. They want that bed open, so they need to get you out of there. They're gonna lie and tell you, oh, you got to have a C-section, the baby heart low. They give you that, what's it called, Pertussin, that inducing medicine. They give you that, lowers your heart rate and the baby's heart rate, just for them to turn around and tell you, oh, now you got to have emergency C-section. So that's how a lot of sisters end up having C-sections. Now I know some women's bodies just are not capable to push the baby out, safely. And if that's the case, okay. But they'll tell you that even when it's not true. So try up until the stop. Try up until the very last minute, and the Most High will tell you some kind of way. If it's an emergency, something else got to happen. It can't pass through the canal. And I truly believe that if it's a complication like that, the Most High will let you know in your own body. The doctor's not gonna have to tell you that. So the biggest thing for me was education. Like I sat up for 9, 10 months and watched them kind of videos to see how scandalous them doctors were, and then they don't want you to have skin to skin contact right as soon as you have your baby. They want to take your baby and go play with it, do whatever they do. No, you need to have your baby right on your chest when it come out. From
Yep.
down to up. It need to be right on you. And they don't want you to do that with the vaccines. We all know what they do to our children, and they're not. We didn't do the jelly in the eyes. We signed waivers, papers like, no, we don't want to do none of this. I'll sign that because I'm letting y'all know that I'm not doing it and I'm not ever going to do it. I learned so much from being in a natural center, like the vitamin K that they want you to get. They said, my midwife told me that African American, so-called African American babies start producing vitamin K in abundance at 8 days, right? And I don't know if the people that may be watching or any of you sisters know what the vitamin K shot is really for, but it's for to start clotting the blood, to make the blood start clotting. So if the Most High, especially if you have a son, Most High is so awesome. If you have a baby boy and you got to get them circumcised on the 8th day, and vitamin K is what clots the blood, and the babies, our babies, start producing vitamin K in abundance on the 8th day. Come on, man. We don't need that.
Right.
We don't need that. The Most High already given it to them. He know they got to be circumcised. He giving them what they need to clot the blood on the day they need their blood to clot.
Right.
So, the Most High said he got all this set up for us, so where we don't got to do nothing but push. Like, push,
Yes.
put the baby on the breast, let him eat, go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Like, I didn't do
Yeah.
prenatals, none of that. But as far as anemia, my blood count was really low too. I think mine was the lowest. Mine was 11. So I was
Oh,
1 point away. Mine was 11. Mine was 1 point away from it. They said they wouldn't take me, but my nurse and my midwife had me eating alfalfa, raw alfalfa, and that brought my count up really high, really fast. Because they were like, they could take me. I'm a girl. Somebody about to get a whooping on camera, y'all. They was like, it was like, we can take you, but you won't be able to have the water birth if your blood count's still low. So she had me eating raw alfalfa. I ate it every day. I can't remember how much, but I just eat it, and my blood count came up really, really high. So, the Most High gave you what you need when it's time for you to need it. Even if you don't know, and the thing about us women in the faith is that we have the faith. So we don't have to rely on the doctors. And you might have went to the doctor and they tell you something and you like, that don't sound right. But you don't know for sure because you ain't a doctor. But something in you is like, yeah, I don't know about that. You listen to that and go home and do some research, pray, meditate on that, and the Most High gonna give you what you need when you need it, and you're gonna have a healthy. I haven't seen none of my sisters in the truth that went through natural birth. Nah, leave it alone. That went through natural birth and came out any other way than successful. And I've seen so many fat, juicy, chunky babies. When the doctors say you don't do that, this is gonna make your baby sick. You can't do this, you can't do that, and these babies be so healthy, and we
yeah.
don't need them. We don't need them. We don't need them. And we can educate ourselves to be there for one another. When it's time for our sisters to start delivering babies, we need more Israelite doulas. We got a lot of those. We need some midwives. We need in every city traveling. We need each other because I was really hoping and praying that I could have been there for you, sis. Like I really wanted to be there to get you through this because I know how it is when you got a man that's telling you can't do what you feel like you need to do right now.
Oh,
So
this,
I
this.
could have been like, wait, bye, just go over there and record this.
Man, 'cause he was stern with it, and it was just like, man, we about to fight, like for real, like for real. But I definitely heard you on the phone, and you when you was telling him to tell me how to breathe and stuff like that, and I was like, I was real grateful, for you even like, calling and checking and talking to him and coaching him through to tell me what to do and things like that, because it just to feel like, just to have somebody who's like, oh, like she's having her baby and this is what I could tell her to do. Cause I was like, even though I had the midwife and her daughter there, her assistant or whatever, it's
We
different.
still need each other.
Huh? It's
We
different.
still need each other. Yeah.
Like it's different, and at that point I was thinking like, dang, like we should be able to have women in the faith being able to do this. It would be a different experience to have like us in the faith together doing this, like coaching each other through and delivering our babies, just like how it was before we even had hospitals, before there was even these doctors that try to con us into doing stuff that like, and it's just like, dang, like before we even had these hospitals, we was doing this for each other. Like we got to get back to that. We got to get back to us doing stuff and bringing up these babies ourselves. Like
Together. Yeah.
we
I
need our
agree.
village back. We need our village back. And
Yeah.
I feel like, after this experience that I had, like I was definitely doing my research before them, but now it's just like I want to get on it. I want to see how many people we could rally up to see who all, and it's like I see now more people want to be doulas, but it's like doulas, they're good, but we need people that could deliver these babies.
We
Like
need midwives.
it's good to have the support, of the doulas, but we need people that can deliver these babies, and that's what I feel like we need to find more of. Because I had a doula before I had the midwife, and she Hebrew, but she was there for support, and I'm even thankful for that. Because even though I didn't pay her, she still was checking up on me. She was still giving me tips and stuff like that. So the Most High just brought me all around, with sisters like y'all and the sister who was checking up on me, and I just know it was the faith that I had in the Most High, and I just wish that I just want all of our sisters to experience this and just have faith in the Most High with whatever is going on, whether they have ailments or not with this childbearing, and believe that even though it hurt, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
It takes 9 years to become a certified licensed midwife.
For real.
9 years, because I looked into it, because I was like, yeah, whenever I had a chance, I was like, yeah, we need our sisters, because I liked my midwife. My midwife is cool, but I would have felt a lot more comfortable with a sister.
Yeah.
So after I had her, I was like, yeah, we need more midwives. I'm gonna look into this. I'm gonna see what it takes, because I could do this. But I know keep the white man off your back. Let's get a license, okay?
Right.
But when I seen it was like 9 years, I was like, oh, well,
Wow. I didn't know it took that long. See, I thought it was more so like, you get the classes to get certified and stuff like that, because when I was looking for my midwife, I had seen on the web, like the little midwife registry or whatever that she was on, that there's different certifications that you could take to get, and it didn't seem like it took that long. Like maybe like 2 to 4 years, but I ain't seen nothing about no 9 years. So maybe that was just like the different classifications of midwives or levels.
well, I don't know about the levels, but I know when I was looking into it, to be a licensed certified midwife, to where you can deliver babies, you can do the prenatal care, you can do all that. You have to go through the whole process of being a registered nurse. And however long that takes, you have to finish that, and then you have to take the classes for midwifery.
Wow.
So I don't know if it's like a certification where you could just do like a trade school. I don't know about that, but I was thinking like, because I'm sure all of us that have children, we can be midwives. Okay, we can already be midwives. We already know what's going on.
The best teacher.
Right, we already know what's going on. But like I said, keep the white man off your back, get that certification, and you know, be legit with it, and you can do everybody's babies. But uh, yeah, that kind of made me go. Well, I just have my sister. Maybe the Most High put me in a position one day where I'm there when somebody's having a baby, and I can help that way. But I really think we should. Like, I would be willing to travel. I've planned it so many times. It's just our due dates are so crazy, so we never know when we can be there. And 9 times out of 10, we have to go and stay for a couple weeks. And we got our own families and other stuff going on. So it's just really hard to time it out to be there. To be present with somebody. But I would love to do it for my sisters, and I had sisters do it for me. So I would love to be able to put that back out there. So if it's any sisters out here, y'all need to go on the upgrade from the doula to the midwife. I know you want to. So go on and put the upgrade there.
Definitely, definitely. And the fact that
Or hold on, or all the RNs, all the Israelite sisters who are RNs already, because this look, our women flood, hospitals in every rank, in every position. You know, the RN should look into being doulas, man, and coming out of her. All this
Midwife.
coronavirus and everything, man, it's all about midwives. But this whole thing is pointing us to being self-sufficient, man, outside of the heathen, and realizing that the heathen don't care about us. They ain't got nothing for us, never have had anything for us, and it's best for us to just gather amongst ourselves and learn to take care of each other on every level.
that's a
So yeah,
good
I
idea
just want
too.
that out there.
Shoot, they already halfway there. Might as well take a
Right.
couple more years and come on and help us out. Shoot.
Right.
Mm. I didn't even think of that. That's a good idea, babe. Good. Man.
I wish my baby was still small like that. Now she over here throwing all the pillows off my couch. Over here being buck wild. I want her to be still again.
Man, do your son be blowing his pamper out like when he going to the bathroom, Nava?
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said, do your son be blowing his diaper out when he's going to the bathroom off that breast milk?
Um, since we've been home, he's only pooped once, and it's still like that black tarry stuff.
Oh yeah,
So
okay.
now with my daughter, every single time for like the first month or two. So
Man,
I'm not looking forward to that again, but I know it's coming.
he be blowing his little diaper out. I be like, yeah, this breast milk, what it be doing to him?
Yep. It's whatever you eat.
Oh well, shoot. I don't.
Hey, too, I got a question too. Well, it ain't a question. It's a statement, really. Since we've had him, he hasn't spit up. Yet he hasn't spit up. He don't have like his nose is not packed with snot and with boogers and everything.
Yeah.
Speak to that whole deal, man, because a lot of babies that are, from the hospitals and on the powdered milk and everything, it seemed like they always spit up, and nose is all nasty. You know what I'm saying? So speak to that, if you will. What
That's
that means.
My
the
baby,
breast
I'm gonna speak
milk.
to it. I'm gonna speak to it because my baby spit up a lot, but that's because she had GERD. She had acid reflux real bad. I heard it when I had her. I heard her little stomach. I heard it. She used to burp a lot, and she would spit up every time she burped. So, but it eventually passed. So, and it was a lot, like all the time. But it eventually passed, and I think it was my fault because I ate a lot of cabbage when I was pregnant with her. So I think it was my fault. But yeah, she spit up a lot. But it wasn't like it didn't stink, and it wasn't like the formula spit up where it be all curdled, and it wasn't ever like that. It was just like, you know, it still smelled like breast milk. But I never put her on formula. She never drank formula. Once we got off breastfeeding, I put her on goat milk. She was drinking goat's milk until all the way up until now, where she doesn't even want milk, really, period, right now. But she hasn't had whole milk ever. And the doctors told me I was damn crazy for giving her goat's milk. But that kept her healthy. Like it didn't. It's the closest thing to breast milk that you can get is the goat's
So
milk.
how? So did you start breastfeeding because she was older, or did you just start breastfeeding and just why didn't you just like did you not just decide to give her your breast milk in a cup or something or
Well,
what?
I breastfed all the way up until my milk dried because I had I had to go back to work. So I was pumping at work, and when I was at home, I was overabundance producing milk, and I was pumping one, feeding on the other. Like the milk was getting made, okay. But when I started going back to work, it started to slow down to where
Yeah.
I could barely pump an 8 ounce or a 4 ounce bottle. So I breastfed her all the way up until I just couldn't anymore because my body wasn't making milk like it was because all the time that I was away from her while I was working. So once I had to stop doing that, that's when I went over to the goat's milk. But once I went to the goat's milk, her stomach started getting a little stronger, and the acid reflux started to kind of just go away. And she stopped spitting up probably around like 4 months. She stopped spitting up, but I was still breastfeeding then. But I haven't had any problems other than that.
Have any of you ladies given your child formula before? Like, and if you have, like, have y'all noticed a difference in the in your babies?
Um, so my 12-year-old, I didn't breastfeed at all. He I was in the world, so he got all the vaccines. He has all of those allergies. He's allergic to peanuts, eggs, wheat. Like he's all of that, and I believe it's because of the vaccines. So him versus my daughter, that'll be 2 in February. She received no vaccines, um, and I breastfed her. She has no allergies whatsoever. Um, so, I mean, it's a huge difference in my household. Um, just seeing, he came out with allergies, eczema, and they said eczema or asthma would follow, but he's never had asthma.
Okay. What about you, Jasmine?
My 8-year-old, I did breast milk and formula because I stopped producing breast milk, and it was a stressful time for me, so I just went to formula. But the formula that I did was the light breast milk formula that they had. So the only difference I did see is that it was just the foul smell. They already said she had asthma, which her asthma was very bad, and I guess yeah. Once I started doing vaccinations for her, and she got off of milk completely, she was way better. She haven't had, and her asthma was bad. I was in the hospital constantly with my daughter because she was having asthma attacks, and it was like the weather changing, her asthma flare up. She'll run a little bit and her asthma flare up, and I'm back in the hospital. And if anybody know anything about asthma, you know that you be in the hospital for like 3 hours for one little visit for them to give her a little pump of steroids so she can, and then they're getting pumping these steroids in her body too. So I was thinking about like, dang, I don't want to put all this pressure on my baby, but I was afraid to take her off the asthma medicine because I didn't know if it was going to harm her. But when I stopped all that, stopped the vaccinations and all that stuff, my baby has not had an asthma attack in 5 years. So I can honestly say doing non-vaccinations are good, but I still have one child that still does vaccinations, and that's because of his dad. So I mean, but I don't see any trouble with him neither, and he's well. So you know, I see it's pros and its cons with it.
Okay. I definitely think that okay, because you know, of course he doesn't. I'm strictly breastfeeding. But you know, my sister has a daughter and she's 4 now, and you know, I made a point to like make sure that you know she didn't get vaccines and stuff like that. But my sister didn't breastfeed her, and so I feel like the difference that I noticed from like her, even him only being a week and a half, is that you know I do feel like my niece, like she didn't get sick all the time. She wasn't like one of those snot nosed babies, but I definitely do feel like, the formula played a part in her being sick as she was, and the fact that um like she's just I don't know, I don't know, it's just I feel like there's a difference in like the cognitive function of a baby with someone like one who's on formula versus one who isn't. And so I don't know, I just feel like though, if a mom doesn't have to put their baby on formula, I feel like that would be the best thing to do. Even if you can't, because I hear a lot of moms say like, oh, I don't breastfeed because the latch wasn't good. Like, even if you don't have a great latch, you can still breastfeed through a bottle. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like breastfeeding is the best way to go. And you already producing the milk. There's no need to go have someone make milk for you as far as buying it in the store where they put all kinds of stuff in it. And I just feel like breastfeeding is the best thing to do for the baby. And it says that their brains develop way better on breast milk than formula. So um
Everything
huh?
everything develops better when they on the breast milk.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely like a demanding job. Don't get me wrong. Breastfeeding is very demanding, but it's so well worth it. The bonding experience you have with your baby is everything, and just think it's for the better of your baby in the end. And I plan on breastfeeding for at least one or two. Even if he's not on the breast or whatever, I'm gonna still give him breast milk in a bottle or a cup or whatever the case may be. Or I hope I don't dry, but the way he be eating, I don't think I'm gonna dry.
Right.
Yeah. Another thing with the formula is a lot of people do not mix that formula right. They do not do that formula right because they say that you're supposed to use boiled water. You're supposed to make the formula with boiled water each and every time. And we don't never do it right because we up in the middle of the night just pour some water there, shake it up. Like it's supposed the water is supposed to be boiled. So that's another thing because the boiled water is supposed to sanitize the milk.
Also,
But yeah, but why the hell do I gotta sanitize the
The
milk?
milk,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. When I found that out, I was like, "Oh, I'm glad I'm not doing that anyway." My oldest, I breastfed her until she was about 10 months, and then I had to stop breastfeeding her too. But she never got sick. She never had the cradle cap. She didn't have diaper rash. She didn't have ear infections. She didn't have teeth problems. None of that. And also, sis, remember, keep some of your milk because it's good for eye infections, ear infections, all kind of infections for you and the baby.
yeah,
So if
cause
you get an eye infection, drop some of that in your eye, you good too.
yeah,
So
he was when he was born. He had like it's just like his left eye every morning. Like even now, it's not as bad as it was. He has like this yellow goop on his eye, and the
mm,
midwife said, it's from being in the womb because he pooped inside of my womb or whatever. So I had
yeah,
what is it, Maconia or whatever they want to call
something
it.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I had when I was, and I think that's because he was late, a whole week.
I was a week late too.
Yeah, so I think it was because of that. But you know, I've been
Drop
putting
some of that breast milk in there.
that's what I've been doing. I've been putting it on a cotton swab, and today I put it on his actual face and stuff like that. So it's been it's like almost going down. He still gets it a little bit, but yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, and then like I'm in this breastfeeding group on Facebook, and they have like so many women, and it's black women having so many different testimonies about breastfeeding and all the things that breastfeeding is doing for them, and how like it's just so many positive things to breastfeeding your baby that it does for our body as well as their body. Like, and I just like me being in that group, it's just so amazing to see black women breastfeeding their babies, not wanting to give them formula and just wanting to really be the best. Because us women, like we got so many jobs to do. We got to still work, take care of the house and everything like that. And it's really easy to get lazy and be like, you know what, I'm gonna just make a bottle, like, or I'm gonna just do this. And to see women like really taking pride in breastfeeding a baby and making sure that their baby is getting all they need, it is just so amazing. Like I love getting on Facebook and looking in the group and be like, everybody breastfeeding a baby, and it's like all the babies act the same. Like it's just so amazing. So
So has
really,
anybody tasted their breast milk, or just me, my nasty self? I
I
tasted.
went through, but I'm just so scared. Like I don't know why I'm scared to.
I was so surprised
Why?
because
What it taste
it's
like?
it's really sweet,
Is it?
really sweet. So I was like, and I wasn't like drinking it. I just kind of stuck my finger in and tasted, once I
Yeah.
had puffed. Yeah. So I was like, oh, now I see why they like this stuff so much, because it's very sweet. So, and it's like, it don't even matter what you eat. That breast milk is sweet. Okay. So if your breast milk ain't sweet, I don't know.
I'm gonna taste it.
It need to be sweet.
It be looking sweet though, cause like when I was pumping, I'm all like, it looks kind of watery, but it also looked like it got a little flavor to it. And I was like, I should just dip my
It
finger in it.
do.
And I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna dip it in there, cause then I'm gonna be so
Yeah.
mad if it tastes some kind of way. I'm gonna be mad. So I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna
Nah,
wait.
girl. These babies love it, and that's why when you feed them, they go to sleep and they be having the milk drool all down their face because they done been to sleep on that good stuff. It's
Man,
very sweet.
it's do your son be like when he like breastfeeding? Cause like it's like him. He been bobbing. Like I lay him on my chest, and it's like he already like uses his arms to, like hold his head up like off my chest and stuff. He'll, like, literally bob my nipple, like literally be like all over my like this, like with the nipple. And I be like, yo, like you're too young to even be knowing what you're looking for. Like, let me put
They know what they're looking for.
man. Like he jumped on it right now, like just sitting here loving
Wait
it.
till he take his little hands like this and start holding it. Start holding it.
Doing like this, like trying to cuff it, and it's just so cute, and I just love it. Like, and he be mad at me because he always think like I want him on the take. I'm like, no, I'm his pacifier, I'm his comfort nurser, and then he likes to eat. So it's like he's always wanting to be there, and I'm happy for it. Like, let me enjoy this right now because it's gonna come a time where he's gonna want to be with you than be with me. Like, because y'all gonna be off doing y'all little man stuff or whatever. Like, let me get this time in.
Praises.
So I don't know, but I'm really thankful for just being a woman in the truth, having the knowledge that I have about birth, breastfeeding, our struggles as being Black women dealing with hospitals, you know, because had I not been in the truth, I'd probably been one of those bottle feeding moms, because I feel like that's all we
You see
know is
this?
black women doing what our parents and our grandparents was doing.
Since
And
you got a blanket or something handy?
for me,
Yeah.
or y'all can see,
'Cause we can't see, but if you move the wrong way, we might. So you might want to flip something over you. That's the only thing I hated. That's why I tried not for the first, was it 60 days after having a girl, the unclean time. I
oh
tried to stay in the house because I don't want to cover up. I want to lay on the couch, pull my stuff out, put the baby on it, and go to sleep. I didn't want to go out and fight it and cover it and do all that. I just stayed inside. Like, if
man,
I needed something, I had people around me to do it. But
and that's
I
how
didn't
I
want nobody to
that's how I
see
wanted
me.
to be. And like I don't, and it's like we was out like a couple days. We went out the day he went to go get circumcised. I'm trying to feed him out in the car, And he got mad because like I'm all like, to me this is natural. I'm not doing it to be an artist, or I'm not doing it to like show myself. Like I'm about to feed my baby, like. And he got upset. He didn't get upset, but he was like, like don't just be whipping it out. And I'm just like, I had to think for a minute. Like I understand what you're saying. I was like, but that's the problem with society. Like, how is it that me feeding my baby, like I gotta really like cover up like that? Like, like it's not like my nipple was out, like, but I don't know, I'm just like, like
these men, some of these men, especially men in the world, they're nasty and perverted, and all it takes is a little bitty side boob, and you all in their mind. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's what, and that's
really
why
gotta cover ourselves in public because these dudes are nasty.
And it just sucks that we gotta be like that. Like we can't even comfortably feed our children on the breast in public without someone getting a strange thought in their head about something that they see. And it's like this world is just too perverted, and it shouldn't even be like that. Like especially about a baby, like so.
But that is to me, it really is a private, intimate moment. So I didn't really want nobody around when I was feeding my baby because that's the time I'm looking at her, she looking at me, we just looking at each other, So this was our moment, you know what I'm saying, to just look at each other or whatever. So I really took that as my private, intimate moment. I didn't want nobody in the room but her dad when I would feed her or anywhere around me. So because people, like I said, people, women, men, I don't want, if you say something the wrong way, I'm still hormonal. I don't know what's going to happen. So you need to leave me alone and let me feed this baby without looking at me crazy or whatever. So, and then we also got to remember that your body, regardless if you're feeding a baby or not, belongs to your husband. So don't nobody get to see that. And I know you're not showing nobody. And none of us are showing anybody. But it's just, it's a really private thing.
I guess that's where he was coming from. But, I'm worried about him. He's screaming, he hungry, so I wasn't even thinking like that. I mean, because at the end of the day, like, of course I wouldn't, if I didn't have him, I wouldn't just be whipping it out. Like,
Right.
So, I don't know. It's just.
Where a baby cries, you drunk. You're not even gonna get no sleep. How you gonna be rolling over? You hear somebody else's baby cry, you're gonna be drunk.
Yeah.
But that's how I am. That's how I am right now. And he be mad at that. He be like, let him do. But it's like I don't want to hear him cry. Like, what is he like? Why have him cry after something that I could do to stop him from crying? Like, and it's not. Yeah, like that's
probably cry.
That's all. Right.
Yeah.
So it's like,
just make sure you don't get engorged. Make sure when he start crying, you pull it out and you feed his ass. Because if you get engorged, you gonna be sad. You're gonna be very sad.
I only woke up like that one time.
Already?
Yeah.
Yeah, that means you gotta feed him more. You make him more milk or pump it or feed him or whatever.
But I think it's because because he's always on it for my bank or for his bank or whatever the case may be. So when the first time he slept for like, I think it was like 3-4 hours straight when it got like that. But it's only on the one side. So now I'm working on keeping my boobs the same size. So now I feed him on the left side that I used to feed him on, and it's like he does not like that side. And I don't know if it's because he's not getting enough. So I'm like, man, how do I fix this lopsided issue going on? Like, what am I to do?
Pump.
You put them on it, so because a lot of times it's just harder than the other nipples, so they don't want to get on it.
Yeah.
So you pump before it's already dripping out, he's gonna get on it. Like,
and just alternate every time you feed him. Use a different boob. Alternate.
He be acting like this nipple's nasty. Like he be making faces.
Mine did that too.
I'm like, nasty to you, like
the nipple.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I got engorged in both at the same time. I thought I was gonna die. I had to have my cousin come in because I didn't have the dual pump. I had 2 handheld pumps. So I had to have my cousin help me pump one, and I pumped the other one because they was engorged up to my collarbone. It was so bad. It hurt so bad, and that was just overnight.
That's
So
painful. It really
that's
is.
what happened to me once. I learned my lesson. So I pump on one while she fed on the other because I was making so much milk. So I can't hear you. I can't hear the sis at the bottom. I couldn't hear. What's her name? Nava.
Yeah, I think her
I'm
thingy is
sorry,
muted.
I'm on mute. Say it again.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's she saying? But yeah, that engorgement ain't no pump, man.
That's where I'm at right now.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my
And
God. So you have to
the
feed
milk
and
going
pump?
in and yes.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
thing
I
is
had
I
to do
have
it
to
every
find
time.
my pump. That's why I'm engorged.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Squeeze it out. Squeeze it out. I've had to do that a couple times. Squeeze it out in the sink.
Hours,
No,
right.
like when you're feeding them on one, leak out of the other one.
Say that again, sis.
I said when you're feeding the baby on one of them, do you leak out of the other one?
yep.
Yeah, that's why I started pumping. I had to because it would leak so much. So I was like, oh, I'm wasting my milk. So I just started pumping, and I could fill up a whole bottle, a 4 ounce bottle, while I was breastfeeding. But I had the electric pump at this time. I had started learning about the electric pump, so I had that, and it would pump while I was feeding her. So I was able to store away milk at the same time.
Yeah, see, that's what I gotta do. But see, like that's what I'm trying to do because I got the little manual one right now that my sis had sent me or whatever. You know, when he was first born, and I don't know, it ain't suctioning right. Like it ain't suctioning into my skin right to where I'm pumping correctly. Like, or I don't know. I think I need a manual or
You know, they
something.
got different sizes, right? They got
No,
different sizes of those little latch things. So you might need a bigger one or a smaller one because I had to get a smaller one because yeah, but
I just
I had to get a smaller one. So,
like how do you know which if you need a smaller one or a bigger one or if not? Because it's like okay,
because
so
your nipple's supposed to fit in there right in the middle of it. It's supposed to when you pump, it's supposed to suck your nipple right in the middle of that thing. And the brown part is supposed to be sitting right up against the little V part.
I don't know. Well,
And
maybe
if the brown part is bigger, or if your nipple's smaller or bigger, it might hurt. So if it hurts, it's probably the wrong size. It's not supposed to hurt.
it don't hurt.
So
It just feel like something is suctioning, but it doesn't stay. It doesn't stay on. Like that's the thing. Like the suction part doesn't stay on. So I don't know if it's because it's too big. And what you're sounding like, it sounds like it's too big for me.
it might be. So, but the breast pump that I got, it came with like 3 different size little nozzle things. So I just tried until I found the right one for me. But I'm sure you can buy them like that. You got insurance?
Yeah, I do.
Did you get the free pump?
See, that's the thing. That being that I'm from Pittsburgh or whatever, that's where I had got that's where my insurance is. So when they sent the prescription down here, everybody's acting like they can't fill it because I ain't from here. Like so,
They sent me mine in the mail. Mine came right in the mail. I didn't even have to go nowhere.
huh?
So
Did you sign up for WIC?
You said did I sign up for it?
WIC, WIC.
Uh-uh.
They give out, so you can get a pump from them, pay $75, and get your money back after you return the pump. And that's just like something you can just sign up for. You ain't even got to get the whole WIC program, just get the pump. But that's, I've done that a few times.
that's the option.
With
Yeah.
insurance, I can have 2 pumps, one at home and one at work.
Yeah.
Do they give you a manual pump or what is it?
It's an electric pump, but it's really big.
Really big.
Yeah, it's like a big old suitcase. I hate carrying it around, but if you got a backpack, you cool.
Yeah.
Did you okay? So I think the website is breast pumps through insurance or something like that. You can Google it and the website will come up. But you can pick out which one you want, and they are all the little small ones that come with a bag. If you want a fancy one, you could probably pay like a $20-$30 copay or something. But the four base ones that they have are really good, and you don't have to give them back. But
Yeah,
that is an option to go through WIC, and they mail it to you. It comes to you straight in the mail, and they send you replacement parts every 3 months.
yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
the one. Ah, boy, why is you pulling my lip like that? The one that my doctor had sent me through, like as a prescriptions. It was the advanced. I think it was like the Mandela one or something like that. I
Yeah.
think it. I think it came with like the little carrying case or whatever like that, and like two pumps with the little straws or whatever, or the little hoses. But I'm gonna just see if she can like fill it out there and have them ship it out to me. She will, because she's my PCP up there.
Yes, 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 right.
I don't know.
It's
How vital is it to pump and feed? Because I don't want to just be like wasting milk and stuff like that. But I don't want to be like having one be fuller and producing more milk than the other one.
yeah, that's one of the benefits of breastfeeding or pumping and actual feeding them. So you don't waste your milk, you don't get engorged. But if you're making a lot of milk, you probably will have to, just so you don't get engorged. So, and if he don't like the other side, he's taking more milk from one side than the other. You probably will have to do that, just so you don't get engorged, if nothing else.
Shoot, I'll be shipping the milk somewhere. Somebody need to take some milk.
No, you're gonna
I,
need all that milk. You're gonna need all that milk.
I
Put
ain't
it in
even
the
gonna have
freezer.
you be like our freezer's already full. I don't know where I'm gonna put all this milk at. Somebody gonna have to take it off my hands. Something,
it
dude. I'm pretty sure there's
was
some.
some, it was
Huh?
some group. It was some groups when I was pregnant with Chance, and they would have sisters that was unable to breastfeed and was asking for milk.
I feel
And
like
it
I
was a
see,
Hebrew group. It was an Israelite group. It wasn't just random people. It was an Israelite group,
but
and they was like, "You can
I
do
feel like
it."
I feel like I seen somebody asking for breast milk too for their baby.
Hmm.
I feel
People
like
do.
huh?
I said people definitely do because they can't breastfeed and they want to, and they definitely ask for milk.
I'm gonna definitely check it out because I mean, if I could barack somebody, who wants to not give their baby poison, I would definitely do that. Because I've even in the breastfeeding group, I've seen women who was like, this lady asked me to breastfeed her baby because she was on medication and she didn't want to pass through, to her baby and stuff like that, and so she had somebody breastfeed her baby, and I'm like, dang, like how how different is that? What could I be able to do? Could I be able to somebody, like would I be able to, breastfeed a stranger's baby like that? Like if it came down to survival, like. And I think I could do
Yeah,
that. I think I could do that. Because I mean, if I don't want
I
somebody
definitely
to do that for my baby, would you say, Jess?
I said, I definitely think you could. Like, it's some other instincts. You know what I'm saying? Once you have your first child, and if you have love for children, it just comes like same way you see another kid in the room, you see him run off, you're gonna go catch that child. You know what I'm saying? It just comes to you like that. So if you see a child starving, whether it's real food or breast milk, you're gonna feed them. You know what I'm saying? So I think you definitely, with the heart you have, you definitely should do that.
Yeah,
I've donated milk. I just brought it and gave it to the person. But anything helps.
yeah. They say that depending on like a deep freezer versus a regular freezer is dependent. Like it has different storage time. Is that true? So how long can you keep milk in a regular freezer versus a deep?
Go get the tablet. I need to use my phone. You go get your tablet. Since I put the website in the chat on the side, so you can look
Oh,
around
how do
because I
I
know
look?
they take Medicaid if you have it or whoever might need it, and you can go on there, and that's the one that they send it to you in the mail. It comes like 3-day shipping, and every 3 months they send you replacement parts for the pump, so that you get new tubes, you get new nipples, you get new everything. They send you bottles, the packaged things you put in the freezer. They send you all that.
So like, do like I don't need to have my doctor send a prescription. I could just give them like my insurance ID member number or what?
Yep, yep. It'll ask you for all your insurance information, and then it'll take them like a day or two to run it, and then they'll send you an email saying that your pump's on the way. So, no, you don't
Oh,
have to go and fill it. You don't. They'll send it right to you.
that'll be so much easier. Shoot, because I
Hey,
could
I
trust.
want to say you guys are, doing great. You're doing great. Everybody's doing great. But it's a lot of comments coming from the Facebook side, and you guys can't see them in the StreamYard chat. So if you would, every so often, check your Facebook, say,
Yeah, look at it
hello
now.
to the people tuning in. Got people asking questions and everything. So
Why you put the
I just
throwing
wanted to.
face in there?
Oh, y'all was talking about all that milk. I just was being funny. I was being funny. I want some breast milk. I need a cup a week. I done already told her.
Gosh.
I need a cup a week.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
looking at the comments
sister. Yeah.
now.
Yeah, she said the same thing about switching off on the breast when you feed it so that you can keep your boobs even, I guess.
Someone asked, "Are there natural centers in Ohio?" Daniela McKendon.
Make sure mute your mics on the Facebook.
Um, I live I live in Ohio, and there definitely are a few centers. Um, you just gotta Google it throughout the city. I know the one that was closest to me was in Middletown. It was about 40 minutes from us. I know there's one in Cincinnati, but it was out of my price range because my insurance didn't cover it. Um, and then I heard in Cleveland there's a really nice one as well, but you gotta search for them.
Angie from the Hebrew group. I don't know who you're asking if they gave birth standing up, either me or Nova. Probably me. But no, I didn't give birth standing up. I was like squat kneeling almost, and I was like pushing down towards the floor. So yeah, that's how I gave birth. Sis, how did you give? What position did you give birth in?
I was in the water,
Uh,
and I was, um, I guess I was kind of like floating, but my knees were literally what it seemed like to my shoulders. Literally. But yeah, so it was kind of like same position that I would have been in the bed, but just because I was in the water, I was able to be more, you know, flexible and push out. So, but no, I was in I guess the normal position. I really wanted to be in like on all fours, but when I got in that position, like they had to check me and they weren't able to check me that way. So when they checked me after I had rolled back over, it was time to push. So I'm like, well, I'm in this position. This is what it's going to be. Because I was in so much pain, I really didn't want to move. But I ended up delivering in that position.
I would have loved to have delivered in the water, but being as that, with me having my low blood count, they didn't want me to deliver in the water, and they can't tell how much blood I was losing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, but when I did end up giving birth, I don't even think I lost that much blood, and the placenta came really like it didn't look like a lot like how like people was making it seem like it was gonna be like I was gonna need a transfusion after and everything like that. So yeah, I didn't lose a lot of blood, but I would have loved to have had my baby in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
She's reading them all.
okay.
There was a brother on there that asked about. I just wanted to answer the question. Um,
Mhm.
when I was talking about pitocin that they give you to induce, he was
Mm-hmm.
just asking for the name. I put it in the chat, so if he's still on there, I put the spelling on there. But it's very, very common that they give women pitocin to induce their labor.
Right.
So, but each time they give it to you, it slows down the baby's heart rate. And 9 times out of 10, once the baby's heart rate starts to slow down, yours starts to slow down, and then they'll say that they need to give you emergency C-section so that you don't have I forget what it's called, but um, is you're now at risk for a low heart rate, which can cause a lot of problems. So just avoid all that. You don't need to be induced. Just let your body do what it do. I was a week and a half overdue, so I was pregnant for 10 months and a week. So
Oh God.
yeah, so just let your body do what it do. You don't need to be induced, and it is what it is. You get one of these at the end. Okay, that's enough. Get on.
Yeah,
So
when
yeah, I just wanted to answer that for him.
she said thank you, Danielle about the Angie said, "Oh wow," about the pitocin, and she's sis who asked about the question in Ohio. She said thank you.
She said Dayton.
She said
Okay.
thank
Uh,
Hey.
you. She said
uh,
thank you.
I would have to look. Middletown might be the closest uh, birthing center because they have one in the one that I went to is called Natural Beginnings. It's inside of a hospital, but um, like even if you don't go to their orientation, because I didn't, but you can still have a water birth, um, and it depends on what doctor you have. You can still choose a midwife to meet you there on their staff, or yeah. I mean, you definitely have options. You may have to drive a little bit depending on how far in Dayton you are, but yeah, I would have to look into that. But Middletown may be the closest one.
And also, if you those who are looking for midwives, even if they don't have birthing centers or whatever, they have midwives. There's a registry. It's called Norm. I think it's NARM. It's a registry for midwives, and you just type in the area that you're in,
Wow. Okay.
and they have like all the midwives who are certified in the area wherever you live at that you could look up, contact them, see their certifications and things like that. That's how I found my midwife where I'm at. And so I think it's a really good tool for women to have, to be able to look and find the best person that suits them. There was only one black lady on there and she wasn't available at the time. So, those who are strictly like, preference and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's a good tool you can use. And I know that, you know, hospitals also have midwives and stuff like that. So I don't know how beneficial that is, but anything is better than like the whole hospital. But I still wouldn't recommend that route as far as using a midwife that works through a hospital that practices and what they do and don't have your best interest at heart. So,
Right.
um,
With
yeah.
the um the birthing center that I went to, with it being inside of a hospital, we were really concerned because we heard like the horror stories with the whole COVID thing, and if you don't take the test, they can take the baby type stuff. Um, but we went in there and we declined the COVID. They didn't trip. Um, we declined all the vaccines for him. They didn't trip. We declined um, the Special K. I mean, we everything, and they didn't give us any problems this time around with my 18, 19-month old. When we, oh yeah, we wanted to keep the placenta attached for 6 or more hours. The first time the doctor got freaked out, like, why would you do that? He kind of wanted to just, check us off of his list, and for us to keep it attached, that made him have to keep, checking back with us. So he was a pain in the neck. And then with him, they they knew going in because we made it a part of the birth plan. So if when you do have another one, like, I urge you to make a birth plan and be very detailed, because if you don't, like, the attitudes that we got the first time going natural, it was like I was still, my feet were still up in the stirrups, and my husband and the doctor was like arguing. I'm like, can we not right now? Like, it was too much. Like, that was not the time to be discussing the birth plan after the baby came out,
Yeah. And
So,
I feel like, and that's why, having a child during this pandemic or whatever, I know there's a lot of concern for, because there's like a lot of videos going around about, our women being in these hospitals, and you decline one little thing and they automatically assuming that, they know what's best for you and your child. They want to take your child, they want to take you,
yep.
remove you, do whatever they want. It's like your rights are being violated and things like that. And so,
Hmm.
it's a scary thing to go into a hospital and to be having your own plans for your baby, and they be like, well, if you don't do this, this, and this, we're going to take your baby anyway, or whatever the case may be. And it's a scary thing, because that's what I was thinking about, and that's one of the reasons why he didn't want me to go into the hospital even when I went for my checkup. Because when I went for my checkup, that's when they had kept me for 2 days. And um he was furious with that. He was mad at me. He was mad at the fact I was in there. And I can understand, because he's not there, and he knows what hospitals could do to our black women in these hospitals, especially if you go by yourself. And they could do anything to you. And
Yeah.
so I understood where he was coming from, but at the same time, I had to do what I had to do to make sure that I was okay. And it wasn't like I was letting them do anything to me. I refused their blood treatments, their pills, and everything they were trying to do, and they was only keeping me there to see if I would cave in. And once they knew I wasn't, they let me go. And so me, them there, they was trying to put a birthing plan in place for me. And they was like, well, what if you bleed out when you have a baby? Like, what, you want us to resuscitate you, and you like, we need to have a plan. And I'm all like, no, like, I'm not doing any of these things that y'all want me to do. Like,
Right.
so, it was really frustrating on their part, because it's like they'll keep badgering you until you feel like you gotta do it. Like, you be like, you know what, like, y'all keep asking me, like, let's just do it. Like, and I just want to say, for those who are watching, like, you don't have to cave into these demands of these doctors. Y'all don't have to listen to none of the stuff that they say. Like, just because they think they got a degree in something, your body, what you can tolerate and can't tolerate, and you don't have to listen to what they say. Like, regardless of what they threaten you with, what's best for you. So you don't have to listen to none of that stuff they say. Like, don't take their vaccines, don't do none of, don't take their poison, because at the end of the day, you don't need it. Everything that we need for our healing is is already made for us. You know what I'm saying? You just got to know where to get it. And I just feel like it shouldn't be scary to have a child during any type of time of whatever's going on in this world. Like, and that's what I feel like, these people make it out to be is like, oh, this is the wrong time to be trying to have a baby doing something that's so detrimental in the world right now. Which to us women in the faith, it ain't like it's whatever, you know. But to someone who doesn't have the faith that we have, it's way more than that, you know. So just don't cave in. Huh?
I'm sorry, he spit up on me.
Oh no, it's okay. Um, yeah, but
I got something else for you, sis. Something. Um, the honeypot. Have you heard of that? The honeypot.co.company or whatever. It's a natural feminine product line.
oh no, I haven't.
Is
And
it like
it's
those yoni steam things?
no, it's like
Oh,
pads and tampons and
oh,
stuff like
okay.
that. But it's all natural stuff.
Okay.
So I used they got they got a whole line for when you just had a baby. So they got the pads that they have. They're herb infused, and they literally stop me from bleeding in a week. So they tell you once you had a baby, you bleed for 6 to 8 weeks. I bled for a week and a half tops,
Oh,
and I really was using those pads.
I'm already done with that. But I've been using the
Okay.
one I got from the set from one of the sisters in Angie McClendon's group. She run the Hebrew Business Care Group.
Hebrew care. Yeah.
Hebrew, I think it's a Chakti Care or something like that. And they're really good. They're scented. They're all natural. You know, you could feel it like whatever peppermint or something
Yeah,
on.
it's mint. It's mint. It's
Yeah,
dope. It's dope. It's dope. It's dope. But yeah, I use the. It sounds similar, but the ones I use is the honey pot, and I use them because it is some sisters that run it, and that now they sell them at Target. They coming up. So but it literally stopped like anybody else that's watching. Literally stopped me bleeding in a week, and then also just on your regular time of the month cuts that bleeding. I know 7 days, regardless of whatever, however long you go. But who wants to bleed for 7 days? Okay, so you cut it down. my I go for like 3 days, 4 days max. Cut it down, 100% cotton, herb infused, mint. It's dope. Like I really like them. Girl, dang. So that's another suggestion because I know I've heard a lot of sisters saying that they bled for the whole 6 weeks, and I was like, oh, you know.
That's crazy. But what I had realized is that in the breastfeeding group, some women say that they they bled after having a baby, but then it went away, and like some women go like 18 months, 9 months, like without even getting their cycle back after having a baby. So I don't know if it's because of breastfeeding helps or whatever, but I hope I'm one of them people because I ain't got time for this cycle. Like, cause
Look, I know somebody who after they had their baby, they periods never came back. So I was praying that I would get something like that, but I didn't.
he wasn't fortunate enough.
Nobody want that.
So how long did it wait for yours to come back?
It was like 3 months. It was
Mine,
about 3 months before it was back regular. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
mine was the day. So it was 6 months. The day after my daughter turned 6 months, I got my period. And then about 3 weeks before she turned a year, I found out I was pregnant again. I'm like, well, that escalated quickly.
Yeah. You did that. You did that.
Another thing for anybody who like have like any problems like with cycles and like heavy and stuff like that, our diet has a lot of things to do with it. Um, I would just say for me personally, when I was when I was on a strict diet as far as like limiting my meats and stuff, like I was barely eating meat. I was eating more so vegetables and like It was kind of alkaline, but it really wasn't alkaline because I would still sneak my little stuff in there here and there. But I was very limited, and my cycle was light. It was short, like it was barely existent for real. You know, it really helped a lot with dieting as far as like dealing with like a heavy cycle and just changing the flow of everything. So, I definitely play a part in a woman's cycle and things like that. If anyone's having like issues with that type of thing, just try changing your diet and stuff like that. Hold on, y'all. Yes.
Mine changed with the first baby because when I was a teenager, I would get cramps so bad I couldn't do nothing. Like I would go the whole 7 days. I'd be crying and doing all kind of throwing up, all that. And then when I had my first baby, it stopped. I was never like that again. So I was happy, but they kind of did jack us up for a minute. But we bounced back. We bounced all the way back to 100. Sometimes 150. We bouncing back.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
I know that is not him calling you. While we in the middle of this live, I'm gonna need him to get his life.
All right.
Why you just to get out here?
It's a button.
Are we done now? Is the time's up?
I don't even know.
We've been out here for 2 hours.
Hey,
I know. Well,
stories, yo.
I'm gonna have to get time. My children are driving me nuts in the background.
Girl,
So I'm about to put some people to sleep here.
okay.
But I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for putting this
Yes.
line. I
I'm
hope
glad
that
you was here.
we are able to help someone on Facebook pages, and y'all know how to reach us now. I thank y'all so much for the information because it was a lot that I didn't know. I appreciate y'all so
Love
much,
you
and I
too.
love y'all.
Shalom.
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 Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go on and go too. We might as well cut it on out. And it was very nice meeting you, sis Nava. I'm gonna have to
You
find
as
you on
well.
Facebook
Yes.
so we can figure out how we can do this
In
again.
touch.
Yes.
And take care of those babies. They so precious.
Say bye.
And
Hold on,
huh?
hold on. Now, y'all ain't just finna
What
hop
should I
out of
say?
here. Listen. Y'all should, you know, take it upon yourselves to have these kind of conversations more often. There's a women's
Oh, we do.
group. My baby got the women's group or whatever. But just have these kind of group deals or whatever, and invite other women in. The world needs to see that these bones could live. You know, include the Hebrew and the worldly Hebrew, and just come to the table and chop it up about different issues. This
We
is
do.
just one of. Okay, well, do do more.
Well, look, it's already even people that's not in the truth. Heathen women. It is so popular now. Everybody's trying to do natural stuff. So everybody, it's even a
I'm talking
statistic
about
now
the group
that
combos, though. I'm talking about the group conversations.
I mean, we have conversations and typing and stuff. Everybody ain't trying to do a video.
Now,
He
I'm
don't.
talking about the video. I'm talking about the video, though.
Everybody don't want to do videos. Everybody
Everybody
Y'all didn't
don't
want to
want to
do it,
do
but here you
videos.
are. Here you are. Y'all
I'm
on
not
here
one of
doing it.
those,
says
but other people.
he don't understand that we women and we texters like we can have full blown conversations texting. It's
Yeah.
only so much we can really say on video. Like sometimes we need time to think about our answers and stuff like that. Like it's just different for us women than y'all men. And I be trying to tell him that he don't
Well,
be.
I'm down to do this. Especially when you're talking about our issues. I'm 100% down like 4 flat tires, so we can always do it. But other people may not be very comfortable with being on the live and would rather do it in a group talk or text or whatever. But trust, it's getting done. The statistics say that it's like in the 80s, high 80s, that women are coming back to natural birthing. The
Yeah,
hospitals is losing money. because women are doing this at home with midwives or whatever. It's countless of YouTube videos where women are actually video recording their births at home and putting them on YouTube. Like it's happening. So, I think the more and more people share their testimonies about what vaccines is doing to their children, and you see these testimonies about women who say their children have passed away after getting shots. I think the more that people talk about that type of stuff, the more people will be opting to go natural.
Yeah.
So it's happening. It's
And
happening. But thank you for letting us use your platform, because you are not a women's only platform. So we got men on here that could possibly be watching this too. When 9 times out of 10, our platforms are only women. So thank you for letting us use your platform to do this, so the brothers can know what's up too.
absolutely. And
Mhm.
fellas, tell your wives or your sisters or your moms or whoever you feel like could benefit from this conversation, or just it's really just all about informing yourself about the options that you have and not just relying on the heathen or the hospital. If you still choose to go that route, that's your preference, but it's all really about just knowing your options for real and being knowledgeable about the things that can happen or whatever. So
My, I'm sorry. My husband's over here giving me the eye. He told me that I need to mention my music because it definitely helps women.
You will go and mention it, girl.
Go
Go
ahead.
put it
Go
out
ahead.
there. Go and put it
But
out
yeah,
there. We put the link in the chat or wherever we can hear
um,
that.
yeah. So I'm on SoundCloud and on YouTube. The album is Lioness, and I have another album coming out here within the next few months as well. So
Are you rapping?
yes,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they whole family rap. I think everybody that's
Yeah.
able,
yep,
they got the.
yep. My daughter
I'm gonna have
sings.
to check it
That's
out.
true though.
yeah,
Definitely check that out.
sis, send me a friend request. Uriah, Yashara, Yahoo, or shoot,
Okay,
I'll just send you one because your name is shorter than mine.
okay.
Yeah, I'll put mine. My name is in the. I've been responding to some people in the group chat on YouTube or on Facebook. So mine's in there. If you want to just click on it, whatever.
I'll find it.
It's on YouTube too.
Okay.
This video is also on YouTube in the um Israelite lives. No, Life of an Israelite
Okay.
page on YouTube.
Days.
All right.
Praise.
I'm gonna
Hungry,
share it to Facebook as well.
hungry over
Good
here.
talks. Good talks. And I'm glad to see you, sis. After you had the baby, I was like, dang, we probably ain't gonna be able to see them till a holy day come up. But I'm glad to see you look so healthy and glowing still.
Thank you.
So yeah,
We'll
with
probably see each other
yeah.
soon. I don't know. Whenever we take a trip, but I just
We just confirmed that we having we're gonna have we're gonna have trumpets at the house, babe. I know I didn't tell you. You're finding out live right now. we go
Nobody told me.
we, we gonna have trumpets.
so like you mean like everybody's coming over here?
Everybody who plans on coming, yeah.
At least you're telling me ahead of time because I got mentally prepared.
Okay, well, I needed to tell you in public, so now you can't deny it last minute. You can't say I didn't tell you. Not gonna be able to say I didn't tell you, Jack.
Well,
Uh,
we'll talk about it too, because I need to know. Because I know we were talking about. I was trying to make sure everybody had the time off work. So there's still a couple people that I need to talk to. So
All right.
okay.
Well, so
figure it all out.
chat with you guys, you ladies, my sisters.
Shalom.
All
Shalom.
right, Shalom, much love. I hope y'all have a good night. Take care of them babies.
You
Yes.
too, sis.
All right,
All right.
Shalom, y'all.
Shalom.
Shalom. Well, y'all have just tuned in to another chop up session. All praises to the Most High. for the strong sisters, for them lively Hebrew women giving birth upon the stool. Not really, but really. Like I said, all praise to the Most High. Until next time, 12 tribes, one nation. Hallelujah.